Thursday, February the 23rd, and Chuck and I are exhausted. 2 days ago, we saw we had a good weather window, so we decided to kick it into high gear and get the boat ready so that we could leave for the Bahamas. So we are officially, I think, done. We've already realized we forgot a few things, but for the most part, I think we've done a great job and prepared as much as we possibly could to be ready to head out. The wind has calmed down and it looks absolutely beautiful here at the marina. So we are excited just to be going. This has been 20 years in the making for us. We used to sit on the dock on the bay at our house and dream 20 years ago about buying a Grand Banks and going to the Bahamas. Then our Costa Rican adventure kind of sidetracked us, but now we're back. So here's the inside. Chuck's working down in the kitchen, making dinner. Here is our front room. I have everything stocked up pretty much already and put away. Earlier when I had this, it was like a huge mess, and you'll remember this was all full up here. Alright, so let me just back up here for a minute. So why the Bahamas and why now? Why did it take us so long? Obviously we got sidetracked when we decided to sell everything and move to Costa Rica, and that whole Costa Rican adventure took on its own life. After that, we came back with our careers and we weren't able to travel because we have a slow boat, so we need a lot of time to get to the Bahamas. And we had Jefe, who doesn't know how to go to the bathroom on the boat, and we had COVID after we retired. So now Jefe has passed away a little over a year or so ago, and COVID restrictions were just lifted at October, November in the Bahamas. So now we don't have to worry about any testing or any kind of vaccinations or anything like that. We don't have a dog. We really want a dog, but we're trying to hold off on getting a dog until we can make this trip. So this is why the Bahamas and why now. The next reason is why the Bahamas at all. The Bahamas are absolutely beautiful islands. If you've seen the photos or you've been on a cruise, you've probably gone to Nassau, and the water is just amazingly blue. There are supposed to be great fishing. We haven't been to fish there yet, so we're hoping that that's going to happen. And we have really high expectations. There's over 700 plus islands. I think they call them keys. They're spelled C-A-Y-S, but they are a huge archipelago of islands in the Bahamas and atolls. A lot of them are uninhabited. Our focus is going to be on the Exumas, but we are super excited, and that is why now. We have been prepping for a long time. Probably 5 years ago, we bought wetsuits to take to the Bahamas while we were still working because we felt like we had the money to spend at that time, and we knew when we retired we wouldn't want to spend the money. But we have also done a lot of other things in the past little bit in order, and especially the past 2 weeks, so I'll go back over that now. It's Wednesday morning and I just left the marina. Chuck grabbed the dinghy. He's riding it over here to Maximo Park, which is where I just drove to, and he is going to pull it out and do the maintenance on the dinghy. So hopefully all goes good. Our trailer's looking a little rough, but we'll see how it goes. So Chuck started to put the dinghy on the trailer, and he said something's not right, and as you can see, it's just totally rotting and cracking and falling apart here. So he's trying to strap it up now because there's no way we can get that. I'm still worried if I can get back to where our boat is at the marina, and then we'll leave the trailer there, and he'll have to have somebody come and weld it, I guess, but we're definitely not getting the dinghy out today. So, boat life, always something. And I'm going to try to get to the marina with this, so wish me luck. I made it back to the marina. I think it looks worse than it did before, but at least I made it. Alright, so we were successful yesterday in buying a new trailer. We bought it from a lady who was from the Coast Guard. She had a Coast Guard plate. and she used it for her Boston Whaler dinghy, which is the same as ours. It wasn't quite set up right. We this morning had to do some tweaking. This is a little frayed. We may change that out, but for today we just want to get the boat out, and I think it'll be fine. Chuck put the bunks. The bunks were not wide enough, so we widened those out, and they're about 1 inch off from where we were before. The this thing here was not long enough. It was only at about 8 feet, and we now have it closer to, I think, 9 feet or so. And then there was no wheel, so we took the wheel off. Chuck took the wheel off of our trailer and put it on this one so that we can prop it up with the wheel when we get home. It doesn't have any safety chains, which I really don't like. We also put our license plate on. I don't like that it doesn't have safety chains, but we couldn't get our safety chains off. But you can see here, this is our old trailer. It's now on the ground because we took the front thing off. And then this is looking really bad here. And actually, it's kind of bad on both sides. We're going to try to get the spare tire off. But this is looking pretty bad. This is day 2 of our attempt to get the dinghy because the trailer was broken yesterday. So we had to go buy a new trailer. And yesterday was a very expensive day. We got the bill for having the maintenance done, and they found issues, so it was extra large beyond on the big boat, the annual maintenance, plus the bill for the extra stuff that was messed up. Then the dinghy trailer was just totally trashed, which is really our fault. We should have put a tarp over it, water got in it, and it rusted. And then so we had to go buy the new trailer, which was expensive, but it was cheaper than fixing the old trailer. But it's not brand new, it's used, it's a 2020. But it's in decent shape. It needed a lot of tweaking, so we just did that at the marina. And then my Garmin watch that I used to count my steps and the time broke. I can't get it to charge. So 3 things went wrong, so I'm hopeful that today things will go right. Here comes Chuck around the corner. So he made it. No problems with the engine, which is good news. Alright, we got here and it was basically on the ground, but Chuck's doing a full splinter repair job here with the black tape that we used off of our van to keep the windshield in. That stuff is super strong, and it's extra sticky right now because I think it's been in the heat of the van. I think this is, I don't know, probably 2 rolls of duct tape between what you've done? One full one, yeah. Alright, so it is Wednesday, February the 15th, and our last week has been crazy. We were able to get the broken trailer back to the scrapyard, which was a really long drive, but it held together, so we were super excited about that. We now have the new dinghy over here. As you can see, we got it back to the house and we have it laid up against the wall. We'll put a tarp over it this time so that it doesn't get water in it. This one's also pretty solid, so it's not like the other one. This is a 2020, so that's not bad. And then we got the van back into the driveway, and we had noticed while it was out front that someone sideswiped us. So we have a little bit of a ding there. This may buff out, and then a little bit of a scratch up here. Anyway, so most things are back in order for now. Since the COVID restrictions were lifted in the Bahamas, which was like October, November of last year, we knew it was go time. So there is a ton of stuff that we've been doing. We started by, first of all, navigation, which is really important. So we got our Navionics, which is what we used updated. But we heard in the Bahamas, Explorer charts and Aqua maps are better resources and more accurate. So we bought both of those. We've been stocking up on food. We have a fellow cruiser that we've seen has a free book. So a friend recommended that we take her free book and get some ideas from that. So we've done that. We've done waterway guides. We've bought everything that we think can help us from a navigation standpoint. Of course, from a safety standpoint, we've done our EPIRB, which will help in an emergency. We also got a Garmin InReach, which Chuck had to set up in the last couple of weeks, and that will allow my parents to track us as we go. I think it pings like every 4 hours while we're underway, and that makes them feel better. And then we have, just checking our fire extinguishers and all that kind of stuff. We've got, I think, everything there in order. We had to do a lot of other issues. Boat insurance, I had to double check on that to be sure we're good. We are actually covered all the way down to the Turks and Caicos, and we don't have any restrictions as far as hurricane season to have to be in Florida. We're covered basically all the time, which is why our policy is pretty expensive. Health insurance, we got health insurance in the past few weeks. We're going with Geo Blue, which is really Florida Blue. We have Florida Blue here in Florida, and Geo Blue is one of the most widely accepted insurances in the Bahamas. So I think for the time period we're gone, it's going to be about $750 with a $500 deductible. It is very expensive if you have other carriers. A lot of times you have to pay up front and then they'll reimburse you later if you can get the money back. I don't know how good that works. So we just went with the sure thing and said, let's pay for it and bite the bullet. What else do we have here? The drone. We bought a drone because we want to be able to do drone footage in the Bahamas. It looks amazing. We live close to the airport, so Chuck isn't able to fly it outside, so he just kind of got it off the ground in the house, and I'll put a video here just to see if it would work. So that's going to be something we have to learn a little bit more about, but I hope we have some really great drone footage from the Bahamas. We have to demold the boat, which we take vinegar and tea tree oil, mix it together, and we go over every inch of this boat. I'm allergic to mold, and so it's really important that we demold the boat before we're on here for a while. The next thing we did, clothes. We sorted through all kinds of clothes, figured out what kind of clothes we have. We had to buy extra food. We have made trip after trip after trip of bringing all this stuff over to the boat. I feel like we've moved a house in the last few weeks, honestly. We had to wash the car, wash the van, clean the inside of the house. We had to do all our yard work before we left. And I went to YouTube University and learned how to cut Chuck's hair and color my hair. So I did that right before we left, and so that way we don't have to worry about trying to find people to do our hair while we're in the Bahamas. Right before we left, the day before, we went to Publix, we went to Sam's, we bought a pork butt. Chuck actually cooked that overnight, the night before we were ready to leave, so that we could pack that all up. We had to wash the big boat, we had to gas the big boat, we had to gas for the dinghy. We had to Verizon. We had to figure out what we were doing for internet service and phone service there. We actually paid the international plan, which is $100 a month on Chuck's phone. It gives him like, I don't know, 120 minutes or something like that. And it gives him a little bit of data. I don't know how much. It's not very much. Once you run out, then you can buy more, but of course it's pretty expensive. But we needed to be sure we have at least one phone that works, and to be sure that we have internet access. I'm not sure, but when we get to Bimini, we've heard there's something called BTC, which is the, I think, Bahamas Telecommunications Channel, and it's supposedly better in the Exumas, which is the part of Bahamas we want to go to. And I don't know what that's going to cost, but I hope we're going to get like a SIM card and a hotspot, or a phone or something that we can use with it that is supposedly cheaper than using Verizon plan on my phone. My phone does have the Travel Pass, so it's $10 a day, except I learned that they also have Travel Pass rewards, which means for every month you get a free day. So I think I have like a full year, like 12 months or something, or 11 months free, or 11 days free to use my Travel Pass. So that's the plan for now with internet. We went to the bank. I think I mentioned the Garmin InReach already. Pretty much we worked ourselves to death for the past 2 weeks, and we're totally exhausted. So super excited. We have great weather window. We are actually underway already, and I'm trying to get this video up before we leave because I'm not sure how next time I'm going to be able to get internet service and get a video done and edited and up. So wish us luck. We cross tomorrow to Bimini, and I hope you're excited to join us on this epic adventure.